decks that you're used to seeing in Standard because they're powerful cores, just with a ton more tools. And one of the big ones that we're going to be seeing is the Cube Warlock that Kex is playing here. The Cube Warlock that has at its disposal. Void Caller plus Mal'Ganis. Another way for you to cheat a demon threat that you have on the board.
Plus, with the addition of Dark Pact in Kobolds and Catacombs, 7 mana can act as a Mind Steal plus some extra life in the right. So it's meant to just be defensive measure in this deck. But since he's playing against Alex and Alex is playing this combo strategy, a lot of his tools are going to get burned just so that's
Slacky here, knowing that Alex does not have any
demons that you can play.
It's really just Mal'Ganis. I guess Void Caller as well, which just sort of what happens when the Possessed Lackey comes out the following turn. What happens when you got to get through a Void Lord later in the game?
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, I'd get down to 4 mana and be like, okay, time to put in my my big boys. I have 2 card slots left.
Sequencing that turn and figuring that ahead of time. I think it's fairly unlikely to punish him since his hand is quite strong and he pretty much has the important tools he needs this game. But if something important gets burned here, that could be a major detriment.
And you see Alex just sort of shake his head looking at you. It's a much different environment than just jamming some ladder games on your phone while you're on the train or whatever it is, or at home and just the comfort of knowing that nobody's watching you potentially make mistakes. It can be a pretty big deal. So
I mean, when I'm just at home eating cereal in my underwear, I'm just coming.
My Spider-Man boxers.
Cheery Bros just isn't going to do it for me right now.
I shouldn't have bought off-brand cereal. This Druid deck can still do a considerable amount of damage from hand.
That's right.
With Swipes, Moonfires, and Living Roots. And because of the way this game has been going,
weakest stages, and when Kex doesn't have a deck that takes advantage of that, he finds himself in a situation where it feels like impending doom is coming his way rather than the other way around. Oftentimes you give Cube Warlock enough time, and you're thinking to yourself, eventually he's going to kill me, he's going to get the right cards and combo me out. It's very much the opposite feeling for Kex in this match. Combo where I needed a 10-mana turn, and I coined out Aviana, and then played Forgotten King, and it restored 9 mana. You may not know that, but that is a fact.
All right, well, Alex realizes that he needs to, 1, empty some hand space, and 2, just have a turn where he does stuff.
Yeah, this is quite a unique strategy that Alex is applying here. What it looks to me that he's doing is saying emitters are traditionally 4 in this deck. And then he uses the branching pass, and rather than draw extra cards, just gains armor. So I am quite curious how effective this strategy will be in the grand scheme of things.
In his deck, he only runs 1, and gain the armor. I don't think he wants to draw cards because Ultimate Infestation is probably on his mind coming up for one of these next.
I think you're looking at Kex's list. Ignore everything I just said. You may not know this. This is a fact. I am an idiot. Is quite building right now, but I think Alex is still in a pretty.
If if Mal'Ganis were to die right now, it would be guaranteed back because only a Void Lord and 3 Void Walkers have died so far. But if these additional demons were to die on board, then it may not be a guarantee. There's a lot more demons in this deck than there are in the standard together. And that can be awkward because you need to empty out your hand so you can draw additional cards, but you also want to hold on to as many of these combo pieces as possible. And Alex realizes that a swipe is absolutely. You can just jam the Doom Guard. Get rid of one of these.
Just go ahead and discard the N'Zoth, discard the Blood Reaver Golden. That's not really cards he needs anyway.
But this is going to be a good defile. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And does have Cube plus the Dark Pact. So going to be able to resummon some of these Doom Guards. And now his Demon Pool is incredibly threatening. With a Doom Guard now in the pool as well, along with Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, great use of Defile here for Kex as well. A card that he needs to be able to find with his tools. He needs to be able to assemble these turns where he's pouring damage onto Alex and trying to cut that clock down. Again, the longer this game goes, I would say the more it favors Alex.
First swipe. That's swipe number 1.
Okay, that's
swipe number 2 is used. So the maximum amount of damage in his deck now that he can deal with a single Malagos is.
Blood Reaver Gul'dan's not nearly as threatening. Yes, he's taking a lot of damage from board, but he's occupied that board space so that maybe he doesn't have to deal with Malagos yet again. I think this was a very important play that Alex made.
And maybe Kex does he ever consider hellfiring away his own Void Walkers to make space so that he can N'Zoth or Blood Reaver Gul'dan in the following turns? One additional space on the board, and
concerned about health. That order may have been quite incorrect. Drain on the
I think it was
a Spellstone.
I think it was the max drain. Well, there's Living Roots.
Card draw. Still no Forgotten King, though. Oh, mama.
There it is. So next turn is a casual, what, 38 points of damage?
Well, he's going to have 2 copies of Malygos in play. And he's got 2 Living Roots
So
and a swipe.
So 20 minimum potential damage here is, I believe, 21. If he resummons the 1 Doomguard that died and gets Mal'Ganis as well from it. And just gets the 1 Doomguard, so that's 15 points of damage. And it's not enough for Kex. Alex had the time. Free. Could have ended a lot sooner, but this is just what the deck is designed to do. And you can tell Alex has done this many times before. All that damage is pointed right at the face. And Alex takes game number 1.
Wow. How can there be 2 Malygos in the world if there's only 14 dragons alive? That's what I'm wondering.
I think that to myself all the time.
God, kills all board too. Oh, I love Malygos combos, TJ.
They're quite cool.
Heaps of damage.
It's going to live for at least a turn. Probably just 1 turn.
Fury. So if you couple that with Rockbiter or with Flame Tongue Totem, you are looking at
a spell power totem pickup would be pretty huge, but Alex is just getting started right away.
I think this is quite wild, these burn spells. And so when Kex sees a Jade Lock and shut off this Death Rattle effect, or is it better to not do that, leave it alone, and hope you can get it rolling? The other debate is, again, between the Flame Tongue Totem, the Totem Up, or the Flame Wreath Faceless. And the 7/7 is just very powerful here because Kex doesn't
for free or whatever, or yeah, Doomguard could even clear off the Flamer Faceless. And Defile will be able to clear this board state up.
Was that some missed damage there? I mean, the Void was at 3 health. He could have gone face and then Defiled. Is that right?
So a little bit missed damage because Totem was at 2, Jade was at 1. I don't think it's really going to matter. At a certain point, once you stabilize against Aggro Shaman, since they don't have off of lethal, and he dies the next turn, then that's going to be a punish. But
damage for Kex is quite irrelevant. It really boils down to whether or not he can live past Alex just playing all his cards and exhausting resources.
That's a potential lethal.
Oh my gosh, you were right.
That could be he needs to roll 6 or above on one and 7 on the other exactly. Let's see what he rolls on the first one. 6.
Oh
if this
my.
rolls 7, it looks like he got it. Got to pull Mal'Ganis.
Whoa! And he can copy the Mal'Ganis with the Prince Tal'Daram too. You know, how valuable is that coin? That coin seems like it could be really important, but once again, under pressure.
Yeah, I think if Jade Claw, since he used 1 and 2 Lightning Bolts. So a ton of outs. I believe that was 9 or 10 outs that he has left to pick it up. And Lightning Bolt.
2-0 lead for Alex now. And you can see why he's brought this aggressive strategy. He not play it, though. It is still an important tool. And there you see one of the big pickups for Alex. Players forget how strong Loatheb is as a card. But when your defensive measures are Poison Seeds, when quite literally be game-ending. Loatheb in a lot of situations I found is when you're ahead, its Battlecry feels more like deal 12 points of damage.
Yeah, Loatheb is one of the watching.
Yeah, and why is it here of Kex to make the attack he has? He knows that Avenge is going to be one of the only early adds power to the board for Kex. So it is pretty much damned if you do, damned if you don't. Whether or not he kills a minion, he's going to end up taking extra damage as a result of that secret play.
That's right.
Times this week.
I think Righteous Protector is the best card in Standard right now.
TJ, he doesn't look at me like this is a joke. He is serious right now.
I don't care what anybody else says.
That goes to the attack to try to wipe out the Divine Shield. Noble Sacrifice provides a minion. Avenge, buff something up. take some damage.
And it does have some ways to fight against this with some of those early removal spells. But look at Kex's hand. He's got Ixlid, which does next to nothing by itself when you just plop it onto a board. Malygos and Ultimate Infestation in hand without any ramp to help along with those. Completely useless. Poison Seeds against the Paladin deck a lot of times just puts more power on the board.
And Divine Favor. Wise of Kex to be able to limit his hand size here. More by force than by choice, I'd say.
Hero power to one of 3 that you discover from another class.
Just as I was making fun of Spellbreaker, too.
Let's see what's in the box.
That's never happened before. That's a world record.
Rallying Blade and Righteous Protector, one of the few inclusions from new sets. Scientist, and then cheat out a secret. That's great.
Yeah, I like to refer to it as Mini-Sterious Challenger.
I've never heard you refer to it like that.
The one thing that's key to note here is that because Spreading Plague didn't happen that turn, a lot of times it's going to be Malfurion that's on his mind for that defensive measure. He knew that Kex was looking for specifically Spreading Plague. He might be keen to launch that Loatheb right here and just try to compound that pressure. But just a double Knife Juggler is already insane. Is I would call a relative term here with the 2 Knife Jugglers out. The thing that's really limiting his board is the fact that he can't kill his own Finley. He can't kill his own Righteous Protector. Like, those would be actual detriments to having so much stuff on board at that point. But it's no Spreading Plague. It's the Nourish for Mana. It's kill one of these Knife Jugglers and really hope that things don't go south from here.
Yikes. And this next turn is basically going to be the nail in the coffin. I'm smelling a 3-0 here from Alex. Lotheb's going to hit the board, and Kex will not be able to do
nothing.
Anything. Ironwood Golem, Poison Seeds, Ironwood Golem. And Kex knows he throws out the well played already. Was that just lethal on board?
It was 12 points of damage on board, so he would need to summon 2 minions. And the thought of him not summoning 2 minions this turn is, I think
astronomically low.
I think it's a virtual impossibility at this stage, actually.
His hand would have to be all secrets at that point, which is even unlikely. And Alex is going to take the 3-0 sweep over Kex with his aggressive.